What's up, boppers? So I'm going to use you alls as therapy. So I'm grappling with something right now. So I've said this before in the past, and I'll reiterate the fact that I can't help but feel sorry for my gang stalkers. I can't help it. It drives me a little bit crazy. Because I wish I could just go completely cold to them and not feel anything. And the reason that I feel such tremendous sympathy for them is because they know it too. That this whole thing is just imploding. And again, I'll repeat the fact that this will all become public knowledge. The whole entire gang stalking program. And everyone responsible will be exposed. They know it. They know what's coming. And they're frantic. So being an empath, and I think being an empath and being in this monk-like isolation, it only hones your skills, really. Anyway, I feel it. I feel the chaos that they feel. And it's so sad to me because it was all unnecessary. They brought and are going to bring more suffering upon themselves due to their heinous acts. So they are reaping what they have sown. So when I think like that, I have to start thinking objectively and think about all of the suffering that I felt, the intense fear that I would feel. It was unbearable at times. I didn't know what was happening to me for a long time, but I knew something was terribly wrong. Too many strange things were happening. It couldn't be coincidence. And I was being maliciously harassed by people I didn't know. And some I did. A few I did know. I didn't know why. My daughter and I watched as my cell phone typed out a text message as if I was typing. We watched that happen. I held my phone out with my mouth open and my eyes bugged out, showing her. I was terrified. I did not know what was happening. The fear, the insecurity, along with all of the physical pain. Being so fucking, when you're a target, they poison you. And I've said this in previous videos that have gotten deleted though, about how when the first time I separated with my husband, he left abruptly and he was not allowed back in. So his stuff was left here. So I went into his room in the garage that he lives in now. That was like his man cave room. And on the side of his TV, he had all kinds of weird shit stashed there. Like my personal paperwork. Some of it had to do with the propanolol. Oh, and actually what he had there was the correspondence between myself and his attorney, where I had lied about the borderline personality disorder. So he had that in there. He had information about propanolol, which I was put on for my tremor, but it was ineffective and it was bottoming out my blood pressure, which has always been lower than normal. So I was getting hypotensive, and that's dangerous. So that was discontinued, but apparently he kept getting it. he kept getting the fucking medicine. So I found propranolol stashed on the side of his TV, and I found it in my closet. Now, during that time, I was so confused because I was being drugged with propranolol. And the pills were orange, and my pee, not to be gross, but my pee would be orange. And I couldn't figure out why. It was like a vitamin color, like, you know, like an artificial color when you take a vitamin and your pee turns a weird color. It was like that. All the time. And other stuff, but I won't get into that. And you know, I couldn't think during that time because I was being drugged. It was ruining my kidneys. So when your kidneys aren't functioning, it affects your brain because you can't flush out all of the toxins. Your kidneys are impaired. So all of that toxic fluid, the waste products that your kidneys cannot flush out, remains within your tissues, in between the cells, in the interstitial spaces, the empty spaces in between your cells. So I was completely bloated everywhere with this toxic fluid. It was fucking terrible. I went through a lot of shit. So I have to think about that, and I have to think about these people did this to me. You know, washing my hair in the shower and watching it fall out of my hands. And not knowing why, and knowing they did that to me. And these same people are acting like frightened children. And it's not like I'm gonna fucking ease up on anything because of it, because I feel this sympathy for them. But, you know, I'm still gonna pursue justice. I'm still gonna keep going on the same trajectory, but it's just so fucking sad. Like, why? And now you're gonna go to jail for a long fucking time. All because you tried to destroy a human being who did absolutely nothing to you. You tried to destroy a human being for profit. I'm talking about the fucking ground crew gang stalkers here. The ones on the higher levels have different motives for fucking slow killing me. But that's a whole nother video. The ones that knew me personally, or even knew me from around the neighborhood, what were you thinking, man? What were you fucking thinking? And now you're all afraid. Now you're crying. But why weren't you crying when you were destroying me? You were laughing then. And this is what I had, you know, it helps to fucking verbalize this. Because I catch myself just like, oh man, it breaks my heart. Just see what you've done to yourselves, all for greed and envy. So that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being my therapist there, boppers. I appreciate you. Because we're all boppers here. I love you guys. I really do. I appreciate my support out there. I know who you are, and I fucking love the fuck out of you. I want you to know that.